My name is John David Kennedy. I was a district and family court judge and magistrate in Maine for about 15 years before I retired 3 years ago. I'm now semi-retired. What the magistrates in Maine do is initial case management conferences with every case in which there's any children involved, and kind of do an initial assessment of the parties and the families and the issues, put the case on a track for resolution, and then monitor it until it gets to trial. I think everyone who's done this work knows what happens. Positions take precedence over interests, and there's the obvious transactional costs in terms of money and time, but there's also the transactional costs in terms of resentment and blaming. And the longer that goes on, the more likely people are going to be intransigent about their positions and less willing to accommodate the interests of the other person. One of the mantras in that system is that no one leaves court without another date in litigation. So if one or the other parties files a case, both parties have to come in, and then initial case management conference, mediation, status conference, maybe an interim hearing if that's needed. What was useful was the kind of early involvement. And if there was a whiff of disagreement about kids' issues, we would immediately require the parents to go to the co-parenting education class in Maine called Kids First. And also quickly get them into mediation as soon as basic information was exchanged. So I think there's an advantage in getting people into those ADR systems before the conflict has been boiling long enough to get everyone's feet really solidly entrenched in the concrete. The longer things fester, the more likely it is that people are going to be locked into their positions. And the more they sell themselves about how what they want is the only thing that's fair or right. And so the earlier that you can get in and kind of shake that up, sometimes the better off you are. It's an early opportunity to do reality checking. And sometimes you might say in somewhat polite terms, sir, I understand that that's what you're looking for, but that's not what Maine law provides. So, let's move on from that.